The Old Hotel, New York, 2013. The January cold had gripped the city in silence. Streets, buildings, alleys, all wrapped in a thick white blanket, as if time itself had frozen. Through the muted fog, a bus pulled into the Greyhound station. A young woman stepped off, alone and curious, Elisa Montero. She was a sociology student from a Canadian university, traveling to New York for a short academic break. Online, she'd found an affordable place to stay, the Cecil Hotel. What she hadn't found were the dark whispers buried deep in the search results, tales of murder, suicides, and disappearances tied to that very building. As Elisa arrived, a light mist surrounded the stone structure. The walls were weathered, the iron door rusted. A bell sat crooked atop the roof, unmoved by the wind, like time had stopped ringing in this place long ago. She reached for the doorknob. It creaked open, slowly. "Hello?" she called inside. A wrinkled old woman at the front desk looked up at her with sunken eyes. "Don't go to the 4th floor," the woman said. "It's being cleaned." There was something in her tone, not instruction, but warning. Elisa smiled politely. "Okay, I'm only staying 2 nights." Without another word, the woman handed her a tarnished brass key. Room 314, 3rd floor. Elisa took it and started up the dusty staircase, unaware that some doors in this hotel were never meant to open, and some guests never truly leave. The shadow on the 4th floor. Room 314 sat at the far end of the 3rd floor. The wooden door looked like it hadn't been properly closed in years, swollen from moisture, paint peeling at the edges. Elisa turned the key and stepped in. The smell hit her first, a musty scent like old memories trapped in the fabric of the walls. The white blanket on the bed was slightly pulled back, as if someone had just sat there. She dropped her backpack and walked to the window, pulling back the curtains. Down on the street, a few homeless people gathered around a fire barrel. Wind whistled like a ghost exhaling down empty alleys. Then, a faint creak. She turned. The wardrobe door had swung open on its own. Elisa blinked, startled, then laughed nervously. "Must be a draft," she whispered, closing it gently. But what she didn't realize was that the windows were tightly shut. There was no draft, no wind, only something watching. That night, Elisa lay in bed, the lights off, but sleep never came. She heard it. Soft footsteps, slow, bare feet pacing just behind her wall. She pulled the blanket tighter. Silence. And then, the elevator bell. Ding. She opened her door and peeked down the hallway. Empty. The elevator doors opened. No one inside. Then, they closed. She stood frozen. Something wasn't right. Elisa grabbed her phone and began recording. She aimed it at the elevator. The doors opened, closed, and opened again, 3 times. No one there. But when she played the video back, there was something. A shape. A face. Not human. A shadow. Visible only through the screen. It was coming from the 4th floor, the floor she was warned not to visit, the floor that wasn't really empty. The spirit in the elevator. The sun hadn't fully risen when Elisa jolted awake. She gasped, breathless. It felt like someone had pressed down on her throat during sleep. She rushed to the mirror. There were red marks, scratches, like long bony fingers had clutched her neck. No. It must have been from tossing in my sleep, she muttered, trying to convince herself. Downstairs, the same old woman was sitting silently in the empty lobby, dressed in a faded server's uniform. Elisa hesitated, then asked, "Did anyone come to clean my room this morning?" Without blinking, the woman replied, "We don't clean the 3rd floor. It stays clean on its own." A chill ran down Elisa's spine. She walked toward the elevator. She wasn't supposed to, but curiosity won. She pressed the button for the 4th floor, but the elevator disobeyed. It began to move on its own. slowly rising, and then it stopped. 4th floor. Ding. The doors opened. Total darkness. Only one flickering bulb hung from the ceiling. Elisa stepped out, and the elevator doors snapped shut behind her. Now she was alone, on the 4th floor. Strange symbols were scrawled across the walls, not with paint, but something darker. Blood. Every door was closed, except one. Behind it, sobbing, low, painful, human. "Hello?" she called. The crying stopped. Then, the door creaked open. Inside, complete blackness. She turned on her phone's flashlight, a dusty old room. On the wall, someone had written, "Don't let her out." Below it was a large, antique mirror. But Elisa had no reflection. Instead, she saw a woman, chained, soaked, screaming silently. Her eyes begged for help. Elisa staggered backward. The door slammed shut behind her. And then, a whisper. "Now, you're trapped, just like I am." She wasn't alone anymore. The 4th floor didn't just hide something, it held it. Beyond the mirror, Elisa's breath froze. She stared into the mirror. The same woman, soaked in chains, screaming without sound. She tried to step back, but her feet wouldn't move, as if the floor itself had gripped her. Then, the mirror began to shimmer, not like glass, but like water. It started showing something else, a place, a time that didn't belong to this world. She found herself standing in an old, candle-lit room. On the walls, inverted crosses. In the center, a young girl was bound in chains. A priest stood before her, splashing holy water on her face. The girl screamed, the same girl from the mirror. Elisa whispered, "Where am I?" The mirror answered, "This is when I was imprisoned. Now you will see, hear and feel, but never speak." The room vanished. Darkness swallowed everything. Elisa was alone, yet she could feel a presence, growing closer. And then the woman appeared, eyes glowing red, chains soaked in something that wasn't water. Her face, scarred, wounded, still pleading. "You are free, Anne, for now," she said. "But the time is coming, when you and I will become one." Elisa opened her mouth to scream. Nothing, no sound. The mirror shattered, and she woke up, lying on the cold floor of her hotel room, alone. Or maybe not. Echoes from the past. Elisa awoke on the floor. The room was still, but something had changed. Shards of mirror glass were scattered across the wooden floor. Her phone lay nearby, its screen still recording. She picked it up and watched the footage. What she had seen in her mind was now captured on video. The woman, the chains, the scream, without sound. A fear gripped her. She had to leave. She rushed downstairs. The lobby was empty, no guests, no staff, only silence and the lingering scent of melted candles. Then, from a dim hallway, a door creaked open. An old priest stepped out, his face pale, holding a worn leather Bible. "You've seen her," he said quietly. Elisa froze. You know who she is?" The priest nodded slowly. "Her name is Margaret. In 1932, she was possessed by something dark, right here, on the 4th floor. We tried to save her. We failed." He looked away, ashamed. "She was locked away inside that mirror, and she's been waiting for someone like you." Elisa's eyes welled with tears. "Am I trapped now? Is it too late?" The priest placed a hand on her shoulder. "Not yet, but listen to me carefully. If you return to the 4th floor, that you'll never leave again." Her heart pounded. She had to make a choice. Leave now, or stay and uncover what no one dared speak of. But deep down, she already knew. The doors were watching, and they didn't open just for anyone. The final door. Elisa ran. She didn't trust the elevator anymore. The staircase was steep, narrow, and shrouded in darkness. Faint scratch marks lined the walls, as if someone, or something, had been dragged down them. Her breath quickened with every step. When she reached the lobby, she ran to the front door, pulled it. Nothing. It wouldn't budge. She tried again, harder, but it was like something invisible was holding it shut. Then the whisper, "I want to be free. You are my key." It was Margaret, and she wasn't asking. Elisa turned back. Only one way remained, the fourth floor. When she stepped off the stairs, the hallway had changed. No doors, no rooms, only one long corridor, and a single door at the very end. Words were carved into the wood. "The one who opens this stays forever." Elisa approached slowly. Her hands trembled. She placed her fingers on the handle. Ice cold, like touching something dead. The door creaked open. Inside, a vast empty room. At its center, the mirror. But this time, Margaret wasn't in chains. She was standing tall, smiling. "I'm free now, Elisa, and it's your turn." A force pulled at Elisa's chest, her spirit, her soul, torn from her body. She screamed, but no sound came. The mirror cracked, then shattered, and everything went dark. When the hotel welcomed its next guest, room 314 had a new painting on the wall, a young woman smiling, but in her eyes a silence that screamed. Elisa was now on the other side of the glass, waiting for the next soul to knock.